Oh, let me just. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You know who it is, the Cat in the Hat, your resident fly guy, your chief architect, Michelangelo of StarArchitects.com, here to help you redesign your frame of mind when it comes to this lifestyle thing. And today we're going to be talking about the power of your presentation and why we should be intentional about how we are showing up and showing out in style. And we're going to continue this conversation based on some of the information that has been beneficial to me. So just a quick announcement. I'm working on something. Of course, I'm always working on something. This time, making sure that it is delivered. It is not a word. Delivered at the highest quality possible. And this is kind of what sparked this story. Handicap Visions, good morning, sir. How are you? I hope all is well on this beautiful Tuesday morning, even though we still can't get no sunshine. Ain't no sunshine. Okay, sorry. Um, and so I wanted to talk to you guys about that. And how the power of presentation, how the power of being intentional can actually foster focus, and it can help you fashion like a proper perspective for how you're going to move forward throughout your day, month, and year. So the first thing that I wanted to start out with, of course, was a story. Last night, for some reason, well, I went and got some brain things yesterday to help foster focus for the YouTube channel, for everything else. And so yesterday I took some. I always like to test them out. And I think it has caffeine in it because around like 11, I took these at 9. And around 11, like, I was just like, man, I'm so not sleepy. I'm so like, man, I need to do something. So for whatever reason, I picked up my ebook and I started going through it and was just like, man, I just feel like I didn't complete this. Finished it, but I didn't complete it. And so I started writing again and editing, and ended up adding like 3 more elements to the conversation, which are at minimum going to be 3 more chapters, but then it was like 3 more perspectives, and then that turned into 3 sections. And it was interesting to see what that breakdown actually looked like when I was speaking. And so part of one of these conversations is going to be the power of personal presentation, because this is not going to be, and the goal of this YouTube channel is to not be a strictly style driven conversation. It's not meant to be a strictly dating driven conversation. Is not meant to be a tutorial driven conversation as well, per se. It's all of these things, because our story is all of these things. About that, guys. So the lifestyle story that we create is all encompassing, and that has been the thing that like has been driving me is what can we learn about lifestyle? And lifestyle first and foremost starts with our home. And we're not gonna get to that quite yet, but we can start like with our personal image while we're in our home, organizing all these other different types of things. And so I wanted to make sure that we are having a conversation about personal presentation, and the responsibility of personal presentation, in that space, and what it can actually do for you. So you know that we're always going to start out with the consciousness. And what I was thinking about was when we are actually very intentional about our image, and we're intentional about our intentions and our identity, how much more powerful we can show up. Now, we talked about that briefly in other conversations, but not in the power play, in the power position of what that actually looks like. And so we need to start focusing our intentions on the power of perspective, right? Of really creating perspective and self-awareness. And that's why I titled it what the look of self-awareness looks like, or what self-awareness actually looks like, because we need to be more impactful in that space. The second thing that we have to make sure that we are devising is positioning. And positioning happens through organization and through looking for opportunities. So for me, what it meant when I was rewriting this book was positioning my philosophy. I realized over the last 6 or 7 months that what I'm talking about is not something that a lot of people can really understand yet, and it's no fault of their own. It's simply it's new, and so because it's new, people are naturally going to try to position something in a compartment. And so if they can't compartmentalize it very simply, then they say, I don't understand it. That's why we have these whole notions of tell it to me like I'm a 5-year-old or I'm a 6-year-old, because it needs to be simple. Kiss, keep it simple, stupid, or keep it simple, keep it super simple in those different types of spaces. And so you have to position yourself. No different than if you're dating a young lady. And I love that even my philosophy always crosses over. So if I position myself if I position myself powerfully, in a sense, I woke up, I'm like, I want to make sure that I'm looking my best, I'm feeling my best when I step out. Then when I see a young lady that I find attractive, whether I'm trying to pull her or, just compliment her, number one, I position myself visually to show up as a powerful man, not as a empowering or overpowering or intrusive man, but a man of substance and style. And I walk up to her and say, good morning. I just had to tell you that I think that you're an amazing young lady. I love how you carry yourself. And it's amazing to see that energy that you evoke, and it interrupted my path. So I had to make sure that I came over and thanked you for the smile. Something that simple can then provide proper positioning for a conversation, for a number, or simply for positive vibes that you have expressed to somebody else. And lastly, what does that communicate? What does the self-awareness and the styling of self-awareness actually look like? Well, when we are starting to communicate ourselves and we have those conversations with anybody. So we started that conversation out with the young lady walking down the street, that then turns into a space of security and of strength when we are on our job sites or when we're working with clients. We have those conversations and we're saying, no, we're not going to do that. And this is why we're not going to do that, because I have studied the situation. I've listened to everybody else's perspective, and this is why we need to move forward in this dynamic. I'm not emotionally tied to the situation, and anybody can come up with a other alternate solution. I'm definitely open to that, but from what I've heard at this point, this is the direction that we need to go in, and it looks different. It looks different when we are having that conversation, and we've literally shown up self-aware. And so I want you guys to try that on and see how it fits you. As I've continued to deep dive into what my philosophy looks like, it's interesting because I've said, I'm not moving in want anymore. I will create a space and a platform that is aligned with Myers-Briggs, is going to be Myers-Briggs for fashion, for style, and for social, sexual, personal development. And the reason being is because the more that we move into the information age, the more people are quickly looking for understanding. They're looking for engagement and involvement. And the more that we evolve as a human race, the more we are looking for meaning behind the information. And that understanding is difficult. If you've been rocking with me for a little while, then you know that I often say that there's a very different understanding. Let me take that back. There is a difference between knowing something and understanding something. And there's also a difference between understanding something and being able to implement something. See, a lot of people are going to know some stuff. They can tell me, all the new information of the day, but they haven't taken the time to critically think about it and then understand it. Not just even understand it, but understand it. And even if it's understanding that it's not even worth their time or worth their continuing that conversation or the push for that energy. And lastly, then they also are able to determine whether that information was applicable to their lives and whether they need to implement it into how they're moving. So those little things can save us so much time, can save us so much energy, and can save us so much unnecessary energy usage. So think about it like this. If you were self-aware, just self-aware of yourself, that showed up superficially first. So stylistically, you step into your closet and you know what you like, you know what you need, and what you wear, what your uniform is. You know the colors that are going to be beneficial, they all fit right, and they all create the proper silhouette to arm you with the necessary tools of the day. Then you are able to be self-aware in how you communicate, what you're thinking about, and you're protecting your mind and you're protecting your state, your energy, or your presence. And then you step out and you then communicate the self-awareness, the self-enlightenment to you. So you don't need to overly explain yourself. If it's no, it's just no. If it is yes, then it's yes, and it moves differently, it feels differently, the energy shows up in a very different state. What would happen if you were in those places of showing, of looking present, and as Handicap Vision says, making your presence felt? I want you to start pondering on that, thinking about that. And as I've mentioned before, this channel and this experience is about something deeper and more full than clothing. But you'll see how clothing is interwoven, symbolizing who we are and what we are looking to express. It will be a colorful language, colorful unspoken language that many of us experience, and it will ultimately drape our desires, our dreams, and our dispositions when we are interacting with others around us. So style is still a very important component of the whole man, of the expression of your story and creating that character. But there's some other elements that we definitely need to implement into our awareness and understanding. And that's what I want to, that's not, again, not using want. That is what I'm going to begin implementing. Handicap Visions, I will get Super Chat as soon as I get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm not there yet, so you have to have 1,000 subscribers to begin implementing Super Chat. I believe, I'm gonna double check, because maybe 500. 500 to 1,000, but you have to actually have enough subscribers in order to do that. So make sure you share this with somebody, fellas, who are looking for me to get Super Chat. It's greatly appreciated. Outside of that, I want you to try that on, see how it fits you. I know it seems like my energy is a little bit low today. I'm just thinking, mine was going a mile a minute there. Oh man, definitely, I appreciate Handicap Vision. So just so you guys know, Patreon, I'm gonna launch my Patreon within the next 2 weeks. I'm still trying to understand how to properly position that, but I'm not gonna sit on it too long. I have the Patreon account set up. I just haven't put anything on there yet. So until we get to those 1,000 subscribers, we'll do the Patreon. Outside of that, be great today. Then again, you guys know that you are. I'm gonna keep on telling you are, because it makes me feel good. And don't ever forget that dress is nothing more than the expression of a man's state of mind. So you, yes you, should always dress to express. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.